The MotoGP season is over for another year. Yep, we have no idea what to do with our weekends now either. But never fear, because we have a plethora of juicy facts and stats to make you go, So while the 2020 MotoGP season is done and dusted, it's time to see who, kicked up the most dust over the year, with the most accidents across the three classes. A fall or crash is classified as the bike physically touching the ground and remaining on the ground, with the data collected from only race weekends and not test sessions. So which MotoGP rider did their best to sponsor Crash.net, get it, this year by eating gravel for breakfast? Take a bow, but mind your step, Johann Zarco. He was not only top the one-table riders won't be so proud of, but has done so for the second straight season. The Frenchman fell 17 times over the course of the shortened 2020 season, which comprised of 14 events. This compares to his benchmark of 19 in 2020, when he competed with KTM and LCR Honda, but also missed 3 rounds altogether. Aboard the Avinti Ducati, Zarco showed impressive flashes of form on the year-old GP19, but also made the headlines for all the wrong reasons, with his spectacular, or rather terrifying, tango with Franco Morbidelli in Austria, one that sent both bikes spiralling out of control into the paths of Valentino Rossi and Maverick Viñales, mercifully missing them by just inches. Zarco's 2024 total was 3 higher than Repsol Honda rookie Alex Marquez, who took 14 falls on the notoriously tricky RC213V. His total upholds the honour of sorts for the Marquez family, since Marc, for all of his success, is actually often floating near the top of these tables too. As he has often said, falling is his way of finding a limit before dialing it back, a method that has proved very, very successful over the years. However, it took just one crash to destroy his bid for a 7th MotoGP World title in 2020, so perhaps we could see a very different strategy adopted on his return in 2021. Taking a bronze wooden spoon was Aleix Espargaro, who hit the deck on 12 occasions while trying to wrestle the best from the uncompetitive Aprilia RSGP. At the other end of the scale, Ducati's Danilo Petrucci made the fewest mistakes, and as well as avoiding the bad luck of being taken down by others, by falling just twice all year. In fact, the Factor Ducati team boasted the safest pair of hands, with Andrea Dovizioso falling off just 4 times, albeit including one where he was innocently wiped out in Catalonia, ironically enough after a tangle involving Zarco and Petrucci. Maverick Viñales also fell just 4 times, though one of those was his miraculous leap off the bike at high speed before his brakeless Yamaha speared straight into the barriers and caught fire. Interestingly, only 3 riders were forced to miss rounds as a result of accidents during events, that being of course Marquez, Cal Crutchlow after a tumble at Jerez, and Pecco Bagnaia, who broke his leg in an accident at Brno. There were of course the coronavirus casualty too, Valentino Rossi and Iker Lecuona, who were forced to miss events because of the dreaded COVID-19. The abbreviated calendar, unsurprisingly, meant total falls in 2020 dropped to 722 across all 3 classes, that being MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3. However, the crash per event stat rose slightly for both, with MotoGP going from 17 to 19 per event and Moto2 going from 18 to 19. On the other hand, Moto3, despite its bunched up pack racing, average dropped from a record 21 last year to just 17 this year. A unique feature of this year's all-European emergency COVID MotoGP calendar was the use of back-to-back events at the same circuit in Jerez, the Red Bull Ring, Misano, Aragon and Valencia. The second of those events always saw better lap times, yet fewer accidents than the first for all but Misano. In general, weather conditions weren't very good this year, and there were no wildcard entries, but riders also faced a physical and mental challenge of 14 races packed into just 19 weeks, including 3 triple headers. Across all 3 classes, it was Malaysian Moto2 rider Kazma Daniel, who fell more times than any other rider with 20 crashes blemishing his record. He was followed up by speed-ups Jorge Navarro on 19 and Gabriel Rodrigo topping the Moto3 list on 18. Once again, the most treacherous round of the season was the French Grand Prix, which saw greasy conditions on the Friday and the first wet race since 2018, when heavens opened just minutes before lights out. Le Mans also topped last year's full list with 90 crashes, which rose to 100 accidents in 2020. That number is still well below the 155 falls seen at the erstwhile most recent wet race held in Valencia in 2018. The notorious Turn 3 chicane entry at Le Mans was once again the most dangerous corner of the season, although the total number of accidents dropped slightly from 32 to 30. Turn 2 at Catalonia, the uphill swap over from the first corner, followed with 21 accidents. The safest event this year, excluding Qatar, which did not feature on the MotoGP class, was perhaps surprisingly Portimao, with 32 falls during its inaugural Grand Prix weekend. The most likely session for a rider to fall in any Grand Prix class was, unsurprisingly, the race. Otherwise, FP2 caught out the most MotoGP riders, FP3 saw the most Moto2 accidents, with FP1 the highest for Moto3 falls. Are you surprised with the stats behind who fell most in 2020? Do you think Johann Zarco can make it a treble in 2021 when he steps up to Pramac Ducati? Also, do you agree with the Marquez mentality that you can only find the limit if you overstep it first? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and of course, do not forget to like and subscribe to Crash MotoGP's YouTube channel.